What a card do we got on our hands this weekend? Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol 2, the rematch. You've got Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker. You've got Shakur Stevenson on the undercard. Ortiz, Madrimov, Zheli Zhang. So much. This card, we're probably not going to have time to talk about all of it. But you know what we are going to talk about is Daniel Dubois. Obviously, no, guys. We're talking about Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol 2, the rematch. Of course, Beterbiev is going to have to repeat his magic. Can he do that? So if you, for some reason, have been living under a rock, Artur Beterbiev took on Dmitry Bivol a few months ago in a fight that was for the undisputed light heavyweight championship, all 4 belts. And it was not Dmitry Bivol, who's already beat Canelo Alvarez. It was Beterbiev, the knockout puncher, winning the decision. Kind of shocking, kind of not. Those who knew really knew what Artur Beterbiev brings to the table. So it's going to be up to Dmitry Bivol to come in here and change the judges' opinions on the fight. I don't mean that as in like he was robbed, because he obviously wasn't robbed. It was a very close fight, and if you gave all of the swing rounds to Artur Beterbiev, everything that was close, you could make an argument that it was in fact his and his alone. But the fight was very close. Again, we need to stop calling all fights robberies, guys. For Beterbiev, he needs to really, he's like 40 years old, guys, but he's got this magical sense of boxing power, just this indomitable will to put people down, and it's crazy. It really is. But he couldn't put down Dmitry Bivol. He drug him into really late rounds, into a place he's never been, having to rely on the judges. Because if you don't know, Beterbiev has knocked out everybody up until that Dmitry Bivol fight. Everybody. He did some good things in the first fight, guys. So, like, let's dive into the nerdy stuff of it, right? He did some things in the first fight that were really cool. You know, he's walking forward. We know he's going to do it. We know he's going to walk forward. We know he's going to come forward and punch when he can. He's going to hit the arms because he's got knockouts through people's hands. It's absurd the amount of power that Artur Beterbiev possesses. He's going to do more of that. Now, something he did not do as much as I wanted him to in the first fight is work the body. Now, the body's going to be the big theme for the day, guys. We're going to be talking about the body with both Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. But he worked the body somewhat, not quite enough. He's backing up Dmitry Bivol to the ropes, with Bivol adopting the high guard. That, of course, exposes the ribs, guys. And you know if the ribs are exposed, you want to hammer them with them big old ham hocks of fists that Artur Beterbiev has. You want to bring it home, because if you remember in that first fight, as the fight went on, Dmitry Bivol really started to score a lot on Beterbiev and out-punch Artur Beterbiev, as one would expect. You would expect Beterbiev to not be the better boxer. And it wasn't until that 12th round, maybe the 11th even, that Artur Beterbiev really went to town. He dug deep where he's never been before, and he put on a good show. Not only that, but he took the last round. So if you have it, you know, even, and the last fighter, the last round goes to the winner, or the winner of the will be the winner of the last round. You know what I'm trying to say. I can't even talk, guys. But if you do that, it's obviously Beterbiev that won that fight. But again, you give every swing round to Beterbiev, and you got a good case for it too. But that's not how it works. So Beterbiev is going to want to avoid those second and third quarter round fights from Dmitry Bivol. When I say that, I mean the fact that Bivol really, like I said, teed off on him and went to town, just blowing him away with the volume punching, the body work, the whole 9 yards. So I think, man, he's going to really have to hammer the body, and that's just to make Dmitry Bivol tired. If you can tire him out to where he's not able to extend those exchanges like that before getting tired, you really can start to get away with it. Another thing that I kind of got, let's go over to the web real quick. Another thing that kind of concerns me real quick is Artur Beterbiev's age, man. Look at this over here. 40 years of age. I mean, that's no spring chicken, boys. That is That's an old man in boxing, honestly. That's an old man. So the guy, he's 40 years old, and you know I'm going to plug a book. This one of my favorite boxers, a biography on one of my favorite boxers. Of course, you can see it. Jack Dempsey, A Flame of Pure Fire. My boy, JR, he's always on the show, or always in the comments just talking. He suggested me this book on X, and it's a fantastic read. Look how thick this book is, boys. This is fantastic. Almost 500 pages. A good read. Go read, you heathens! Educate yourselves, right? Anyways, back to my point. When Jack Dempsey lost his first fight to Gene Tunney, he was like 30, 31, and he made a comeback against Sharkey, and he won his fight with Sharkey. But in that book, they talk about him fighting, Tunney in the rematch. Gene Tunney kind of outpointed him and just styled on him and made Dempsey kind of look bad. And he talked about this. Get this, guys. This is crazy sounding. The author says, Roger Kahn says, he wondered if at 31 or 32 he still had the legs to catch Tunney, and should he catch him, will he possess the punching power to finish him? That link to this book will be in the description down low. Go get a copy. It's a good read. So the reason that's funny is because, like, Dempsey is 32 years old. Beterbiev is a power puncher, much like Jack Dempsey. Probably about the same size, not as yoked, obviously. Jack Dempsey was kind of, was in really good shape for his day, but he's not. I mean, you look at a picture of Artur Beterbiev, and he's like, does he pass the smell test? I don't know. At a certain point, your body just gives up. Father Time, they say, is undefeated. Even against Floyd Mayweather, Father Time is going to beat Floyd Mayweather at one point or another. But, the age really kind of bothers me for Artur Beterbiev. And I think that is going to, eventually it's going to show. Eventually it's going to show. And I hope it's not this fight, because I want to fight similar to the last one. A very close, a very good fight. But the jury's out. And Dmitry Bivol, make no mistake about it, is coming with some adjustments. How can Dmitry Bivol win? That's the big question. How does he beat a monster like Artur Beterbiev? Listen to me. I really can't talk today, guys. How does he beat a monster like that? Because the dude's the Terminator. He just walks him down. And you think to yourself, like, man, Bivol couldn't get the respect of Artur Beterbiev. He just didn't hit hard enough. It's not like Canelo, who was coming up 3 weight classes. Let's be real. Canelo's not a real 168er. But it's like he couldn't get the respect. Now, I mentioned earlier, the body. We're going to be talking about it with Dmitry Bivol, too. Dmitry Bivol had a good right straight to the body, good hooks to the body to come up top. And he changed levels up and down all the time. And if you really want to have the fight go similarly but better in your favor, Dmitry Bivol's going to want to hammer the body as much as possible while staying safe. Obviously, you throw your hooks to the body and your straights to the body. That's opening in your head up top. Your hands are low because you're hitting the body. And against a guy like Artur Beterbiev, who is known for destroying everything in his path, you don't want to be caught throwing body shots. But Dmitry Bivol is going to have to find ways to do that. And the way you do that is you mix it up. You don't become too predictable. And he didn't become predictable in the first fight. Obviously, he rallied and come back from a strong lead, 2-3 round lead for Beterbiev. His footwork looked good, but he's going to have to hit the body. And he can do that with, right hooks as he's exiting out underneath these big shots of Artur Beterbiev. Dmitry Bivol can right straight to the body after double jab up top. So jab, body, jab, hook, body, hook against the body. Another thing I noticed, and this is kind of tying into that, was when Artur Beterbiev was not as sure about what he was doing and what was coming at him, because there was times when Dmitry Bivol really landed punches and bunches, 3, 4, 5 punch combinations. Something you wouldn't think against somebody that's fighting Artur Beterbiev, right? You want to jab, cross, maybe 3 punches max and get out of there. But Bivol was so confident in his defense and his footwork and his IQ that he really didn't worry he could extend these punches. And Beterbiev just kind of took it on the guard. Now, you run the risk of yourself getting tired while doing this. And this is about to come full circle, right? You run your risk of being tired, punching yourself out. You hear that all the time. But guys, hit his body in punches too. That seems crazy, right? It's a crazy idea. But hit his body. Slam his body. Throw extended combinations. If you can throw these longer combinations and sneak a hook or 2 into the body, like jab, hook to the bottom, cross, hook, you can really start to add up not only the points, you can add up the rounds, and you can destroy the cardio of him. And Beterbiev cuts a lot of weight. He's a professional. He's going to make weight. He's one of the best in the world. But the key to this is Beterbiev. The key to this is going to be more of what he did. Anticipate the changes from Dmitry Bivol. Anticipate the fact that the body's probably going to get racked. He needs to find a way to lower the hands or split the guard. So uppercuts, hooks off the jabs off the hook. Dmitry Bivol's path to success, again, you hear this all the time. Always bet on the boxer in the rematch. And that's what we're going to do here. I think Bivol's going to win this fight. And losing to Beterbiev is the best thing that happened to him, right? And I'll explain that in a second. It's sensical. But if he can go to the body early, consistently, and often throughout the fight while staying safe, Dmitry Bivol can win this fight. And I think he will. So I said earlier, a second ago, I said, what did I say? I done forgot what I said, guys. Oh, losing to Beterbiev is the best thing that could happen to Bivol, right? He beat Canelo, who was, 3-4 pound for pound when they fought? Beterbiev is, 3-4 pound for pound now? That's 2 top 5 pound for pound people that Dmitry Bivol will have beaten. And I can see him going up to cruiserweight and starting to reap havoc, too. The dude's got really good hands. But if he were to, lose to Bivol, and the fact that losing to Bivol the first time is what losing to Beterbiev the first time is what put Artur Beterbiev at such a high pound for pound in regards. So if Dmitry Bivol can beat another top 5 pound for pound, man, we got to start talking about this guy a lot more. He's not exciting all the time, but the guy just wins, and he beats great fighters, Canelo and hypothetically Artur Beterbiev. I mean, even if he doesn't beat Beterbiev and it's the similar fight to the last one, it's like, that's nothing to frown about at all. So, yeah, the good fight. Co-main event is going to be Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker. Now, we know Daniel Dubois is the champion of heavyweight, right? He's a heavyweight champion, number 2 in the world behind Alexander Usyk, but it's for the IBF title that was stripped from Usyk after he beat Tyson Fury. Remember, Dubois did a really good job of knocking out Anthony Joshua. Hello, you remember that? He knocked out Anthony Joshua in his last fight to win the title. Daniel Dubois has gone on after losing that controversial decision to Usyk. He's beat Philip Hrgovic and Anthony Joshua back-to-back, and now he's taking on Joseph Parker. Now, Parker's run, I'm pulling it up here, guys. Parker's run has been kind of crazy, right? He lost to Joe Joyce. Obviously, he lost his shot to Parker, but, you start looking, I tell you what, hold on, fellas. Let me go ahead and take y'all over to the web here. This is Joseph Parker's record, right? The dude's career has been actually really good. Okay, so let's appreciate Joseph Parker for a second here. Where are we? Andy Ruiz. He beat Andy Ruiz. Okay. Hughie Fury, we're not going to hold that one in high regard. We obviously know the loss to Anthony Joshua and the unanimous decision loss to Dillian White. But after that, he kind of goes on a tear. Beats Derek Chisora, which is a name people know. Beats him again. He's a name people know. Lost to Joe Joyce. Not as good of a loss in hindsight, knowing how bad Joe Joyce was. Beats Deontay. These last two beats Deontay Wilder and Zhang Li, who fights on this card. The Deontay Wilder is obviously his biggest career win, but the Chisora wins. The Ruiz win ended up being a good win, majority decision. Joseph Parker, guys, is kind of a freaking good boxer. He doesn't always do the greatest thing, but he game plans well. And against Daniel Dubois, I don't think he's going to beat Dubois. Now, if you listen to the show for any amount of time, you'll know I'm no fan of Daniel Dubois. I think he's a dirty, rotten cheat. Headbutts. The Joshua fight, they really took a lot of concern into the headbutts. And against Filip Hrgovic, he headbutted him no less than 7 times. Back of the head. Oh, cheaty as you can get. He hit Usyk low. I mean, the guy cheats, guys. So, I'm not pulling for Daniel Dubois here. And the reason is because I actually kind of like Joseph Parker. Even though he's not the best in the world, you can still like fighters that aren't the best. Otherwise, the only fighters we'd be liking is Rocky Marciano and Floyd Mayweather, because they've never lost. But they don't take interesting fights. That's just my 2 cents, fellas. Don't light me up in the comments about it. But when it comes to this, Daniel Dubois, I do think he's got the run. Joseph Parker, obviously, you got the Wilder win, but that's a wash Wilder. We don't hold Chisora in high regards. Andy Ruiz, not as good as we thought. That run, the names. You got to take into context the ones. It's like Rocky Marciano. He fought all these greats, and it's like, but they were old. It's kind of what Joseph Parker did. But I'm pulling for him. Daniel Dubois. Carlos Adams is fighting Hamza Shiraz. And for the WBC World Middleweight, I've been hoping that Carlos Adams, or however you say his last name, fights Yanibek Alamhamala. Why can't I say Yanibek's last name? I'm Alamhamala, but I can't say Carlos. I need to get together. I don't know. I don't know if it's this fight. I want him to fight. What else is going on here, fellas? Virgil Ortiz and Israel Madrimov. You'll know Virgil Ortiz from being 22-0. His last win is over Boachuk. He's just this destroyer. I think Boachuk was his first decision. Yeah, 22-0, 21 KOs. 26 years old. He's fighting Israel Madrimov. Madrimov is coming off that loss to Terrence Crawford, a very close decision where he actually overperformed against Terrence Crawford. So Virgil Ortiz is really just trying to go in here and beat Madrimov more convincingly just by any kind of a finish than Terrence Crawford did, and that'll set up that fight. Zhang Li is fighting Agat Kaabel. I don't know Agat that much. I know he's a pretty decent German boxer. No real big wins here. Chisora win, okay. Again, what does that mean? Even in 2017. I don't know. This one, Zhang Li's a little old, 41, but at the same time, you've got Butasi on here fighting Callum Smith. That's an okay fight. And, of course, now we've got Shakur Stevenson on the undercard of all places. I don't know how low on the card he's going to be. He is fighting at the last minute Josh Padley. He was supposed to fight Schofield, I believe it was. Schofield got sick, so, he's out. But Shakur, he's number 2 lightweight in the world, man. Really good boxer, dude. And he gets so much hate because he talks all this trash and can't back it up. Can't get a finish for love nor money, guys. You could give Shakur Stevenson a taser with 2 shots and a head start against me, and he couldn't beat me. He couldn't knock me out. He beat me in a boxing match. I couldn't touch Shakur Stevenson, but you can't knock me out, dude. He's got pillow fist. I mean, come on. I'm joking. Yes, Shakur Stevenson would knock me out if we fought. I'm an untrained fighter. I don't fight at all, actually. I wouldn't call myself I'm just untrained. But no, regardless, the dude's got pillow hands. He can't knock people out. He's very defensively minded, and it gets him into trouble. Like against like Robson Conceição, were one of the most boring boxing matches you'll ever see. Thank God I was going to film Fight Finders for that. You know, he really underperformed, and it drove a lot of people mad. So this, you're fighting somebody on 3 days notice, a 15-0 Josh Padley. You gotta finish him, Shakur. You got to. There's no excuses there, bro, that you can give us. You've got to finish this guy. And I love Shakur. Again, defensively, he is mwah. I even picked Shakur Stevenson. Y'all gonna jump on me again. I even picked Shakur Stevenson to beat Gervonta Davis. That's crazy, as the kids would say. I don't even know if the kids say that. I think they're young adults now. That's pretty old. But yeah, so he's like a defensive boxing master. He's got the cross arm check. He's hard to hit. Gets behind his lead shoulder. A southpaw. He has really good read on the range and stuff. And you know, in our film study, we talked about that. And we talked about that in our film study because I like Shakur and I think we can learn things from him. And in this film study, we do just that. We're going to learn from what Shakur brings to the table.